Howdy fellas, Frankie Dave back here on YouTube. Okay guys, I tried YouTube inbox review of a kit for one more in my stash. I went to the hobby shop yesterday, 2 days ago, and I bought my C47 for my second entry of Russell Gosling's D-Day group build. I looked top of the shelf and says, wow, I haven't seen that kit in 50 plus years. So I went ahead and bought it. It's a Lindberg reissue of their 1954 release of the Winnie Mae. The Winnie Mae was actually an experimental aircraft. It was owned and flown by the late great Wiley Post. Wiley Post was a pioneer of aviation of the 1930s, along with that of Roscoe Turner and the great late Jimmy Doolittle. These guys were the forerunners of what we have for today. Great aviation pioneers, and they achieved great success in aviation medicine in general, military, and also civilian speaking. A lot of militarists were very interested in the high altitude performances that Wiley Post performed in the Winnie Mae. 40,000 feet. That's a high ceiling rate of any aircraft that ever achieved. So that was a record-breaking a milestone stepping there. Also, he also flown around the world in 6 days. Everything was flown by dead reckoning, like that what Charles Lindbergh did when he flew that New York to Paris on the Spirit of St. Louis. Well, this kit came out in 1954. In 1954, I was 14 years old. And that was the first time I bought the kit. The kit retailed back then, I think it was 29 cents it cost. And the scale of the model is 1/48 scale, which makes a very handsome collection to the 1/48 scale miner's buff in mind. The kit contains 45 parts, molded in traditional plastic back then, even now. White plastic. Now, I opened up the box and reviewed the contents, guys, and this kit is precisely the same thing as it was back in 1954, except two things. The treatment of the instructions and the decal sheet they give you. The decal sheet they give you in this kit is gorgeous. I'll tell you, it saves me a lot of time of masking, which I done on the original kit back in 1954, because that decal sheet didn't have the transparencies and the designs as this decal sheet has incorporated this here kit. So back then, everything was had to be masked down, like such as we do today anyway. But this decal here is like that of my C-47 Skytrain with the invasion stripes. I was really blown away when I seen that. That saved me a lot of work. So anyway, that C-47 kit was pretty much, in the moldings itself, in general, is pretty much as original as that of the 1977 kit. Again, with the exception of the treatment of the instructions, but also the decal sheet. So, give or take, what the heck, it's not the same thing. Okay, guys, let me express the history of the Winnie Mae before we go through the kit. Now, stuff like this I'm pretty keen on, guys, because I grew up with stuff like this when I was a kid. And the Winnie Mae was purchased by J.P. Getty. He was an oil tycoon in Oklahoma, and his name still resides today in the Southern California regions. And his oil is he's a multi-trillionaire, billionaire, and he more or less, him and Wiley Post are very close. And during labor, Wiley Post used to work out in the oil fields, and he labored tremendously as a roughneck. And being a roughneck, he was on a job one day, and I guess he's more or less working with some metal, and a piece of metal flew off, chipped him in the left eye, and took out his left eye. So he got a settlement for the company. So the company he worked for is J.P. Getty. So Getty Oil was the most leading, was probably, along with the first most greatest oil refinery companies that there was then, even now. And J.P. Getty more or less knew that Wiley Post was a very famed and proficient aviator, and also an innovator too. And also he did all the barnstorming back in the 1920s, along with Charles Lindbergh and Chuck Gurney and Roscoe Turner. And all these guys did all the barnstorming. The Expo War one pilots that actually purchased Curtis Jennings, and they more or less had 8 good weeks of barnstorming at circuses and such. So, although him and Wiley Post are very close, good friends, instead of giving him money as a settlement, he bought this beautiful Lockheed Vega. The Lockheed Vega was a very popular and luxurious aircraft for its time. Only 2 people had the Lockheed Vega at that time, in that era. First was Charles Lindbergh, and second was Wiley Post. In 1935, Wiley Post was killed with world's humorist Will Rogers. He flew a hybrid Lockheed Vega and Lockheed Orion mixed together, and it wasn't due to the design and the build of the construction of the aircraft in general. They were shelling it to Alaska. Will Rogers was touring back then, and Will Rogers needed Wiley Post to get him from point A to point B. So Wiley Post carelessly didn't make accurate flight adjustments as altitude changes. He wrapped his airplane around a mountain up here in Fairbanks, Alaska, and him and Will Rogers were killed instantly. His aircraft, the Winnie Mae, was sold for $25,000 in 1935 to the Smithsonian Institute. This aircraft can still be seen today at the National Air and Space Museum in Washington, D.C. I seen this aircraft back in 1955 at the Smithsonian Institution in Washington, D.C. And back then, the Smithsonian Institution wasn't blocks and blocks and blocks full of institutions that specialized in the Army Corps of Engineers and all the other things. The Smithsonian Institution at that time used to be an aircraft hangar. And this big, huge aircraft hangar contained all the artifacts that was taken from famous people, such as the Grumman Gulf Hawk from Al Williams, and also Wiley Post's Winnie Mae, Charles Lindbergh's Spirit of St. Louis, and the original Kitty Hawk flown by the Wright brothers. It still resides there today as we speak. Okay, enough of that, guys, for the history. Let's get along with the kit. I don't mean to put nobody to sleep out there, but that's my trademark, is a little history and kits and everything else. I guess that makes me a little different, but that's me. Anyway, folks, this is the box art. This is the kit. Now, Lindbergh was the original company that made this model in 1954. The box art of this kit is precisely the same as it was back in 1954, but only one difference there is. It didn't have finished. It didn't have these logo panels on here. What it did on the side here, it had a catalog of the aircraft models that Lindbergh made on both sides. Also, the instructions had a catalog too as well. The instructions were glossy form with pictorial views, with actual photographs of the actual airplane that you're building. Now, there's only 2 differences on this kit that's different from the original release of the 1954. Is the treatment of the instructions and the decals. Everything else is original. Okay, guys, we'll take a inbox review right here. Let me move my cigar out of the way before I knock it over and burn my toe. Another thing, too, I noticed about these new Lindbergh release kits they're doing now. These boxes, they can be folded. It puts you in mind of the old early Frog and airline kits back in the 1960s. One thing I like about boxes like this, you can put parts in here. You can put parts that you're working on to dry right there. You're working the parts in there. That's if you don't want to make a mess. If you're a tidy builder, but guys like us, we do it right on the workbench. So anyway, it's like a little technical note that they included here that I've noticed. My own personal observation. Okay, guys, we'll start up with instructions first. Now, the instructions right here in the kit, I looked at it about 3 times. They're very straightforward and very simple. And like I say again, these are not the original instructions as they were designed for the kit, as original 1954. There's 45 parts to this kit, gang. Okay, again, when you read the instructions, typical instructions, color call-outs, legend codes, do's and don'ts. Then you got the original finish of the aircraft right here that you're doing. And you got the construction of your display stand. Turn around this way. Oh, I had it right the first time. My apologies. Now this right here is very original, guys. This is display stand right here. There's a piece of soft wire right here we'll discuss as we open up the kit. This is the original stand that came with this kit in 1954. This whole thing is original as it was back then, except the treatment of the instructions and the decals. Okay, gang. Again, you can see the decal placement of the Winnie Mae. Color codes, call-outs are called on it. And I believe that the color charts, the color cutouts, call-outs are right from here, right on top of here. Right there it tells you the color codes and everything. The Winnie Mae had a gray interior. The whole aircraft was satin, high gloss satin white with blue trim. And this is the good part here, guys. Again, the treatment of the decals. The protective backing paper is very nice on the kit. The decals are excellent. Lindberg is really getting they're getting their act together again. I'm very happy. Take the backing paper off, and there's the decal right there, folks. On the original 1954 kit, it didn't have the top of your wing colors, your cheat sheets on top of your wings. They had to be masked off with masking tape, brush painted, or they had too many airbrushes back in those days, but what I used was an aerosol can. Matter of fact, it was DuPont aerosol. Came from an automotive, came from Sears and Roebuck. The original kit came with the license number. It also came with the cowling trims and the pinstriping. It came. That's all it came. But this here didn't come with the kit. All your stenciling right here and the achievement victory records of this aircraft is finely defined, as you can see. Now this is here. I really enjoyed this feature here. That's the first thing I noticed when I opened up the kit box, gang. Was this display stand right here. Lindberg is very kind people. They use masking tape to seal the baggies up, which makes it very easier for inbox reviews. You can put it back in the bag and tape it up like it never happened. Here's the stand they gave you, fellas. Right over here mounts on this section of the stand. They got a decal, which came with the original decal sheet, telling you exactly the name of the aircraft. This right here is your fuselage mount and stand mount. This here plugs in top of here, and this is a very unique feature here. This is something I'm sure this brings back a lot of memories. It does. There's this little piece of soft wire right here. It's like that of a hard solder. It can be bent really easy. And the reason why it being that way, you can pose the Winnie Mae or the aircraft in general when it goes up to in different flight positions. So that was a very, very Very good feature. I'm very happy that Lindberg incorporated that in their new release of the Winnie Mae kit. And like I say, folks, I'm really happy Lindberg's bringing stuff like this out. All original kits and everything. Okay, guys, for the transparency, in spite of the display stand, there's only 3 pieces they give you that makes up the canopy. And they're very clear. They got raised framing lines on it. On the frames around the canopy are very raised, masking a cinch. It wouldn't hurt to put a little future on there either, fellas. I'd highly recommend it. But it's pretty legible. You almost look right through it. Yes, I can. I can see the time on the window right here. Okay, guys. Lastly, we'll review the parts of the kit. Again, the great folks at Lindberg use vested tape for the baggies. Make it very easy to get into. Like I said again, for in-box reviews. This airplane is molded in 2 sprues. The fuselages were not attached to the sprues. They're running loose. Right here is the right and left fuselage halves of the great Winnie Mae. Very highly detailed, guys. Very highly detailed. And the surface detailing is like that of the real machine. All monocue fuselage, smooth, and the parts of it. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have fun with this. And for the cockpit parts, guys, there's exactly 4 pieces that are comprised that make up the cockpit. Now the pilot right here is a lot to desire right here. I don't know if I'll put him in the airplane in there or not. So I actually got a lot more better quarter-inch scale pilots in my spare parts box than this fella here. So I think I would discard him and throw him in a spare parts box and save him for a rainy day model. So anyway, for cockpit interiors, you get a seat right here, leave lots to desire, which I'm not going to use. I don't know, fellas. I think I'll just go ahead and build this out of the box with the exception of the pilot. But like I say, anybody out there is into scale. The pilot seat right here was not like that. It was more or less like almost that of wicker. But what do you expect? A model that's almost 56 years old. They didn't really go that far. You got your cockpit floor. You got your rear bulkhead. You got your instrument panel. You got your joystick. Here's your prop. Get your pit-top tubes. Got your tail wheel yoke. That looks like you got your airspeed indicators on there. You got your stats covers, your landing gear covers, and you got your bottom of your wing, which is in 1/148 scale. This is about the size of a almost size of a TBD. Lastly, sprue number 2, you got your top wing. You got your stabilizers and elevators, ailerons, undercarriage, firewall and engine molded as one on this sprue here. This is what you're going to get in a kit like this, guys. This kit's very ancient. Now here we go. I was wrong. It wasn't a decal. This is original. Remember the stand right there, that little clear piece? I thought the decal fits in there. I forgot all about it, guys. This is beautiful. I got the nameplate right here, which glues on that clear piece. Very beautiful kit. I'm very happy the good folks at Lindberg reproduced this kit. I don't know how they slept on the molds all those years. I don't know where they kept them at, but very smart and manageable folks. Anyway, guys, this concludes the inbox review of One More for the Stash. And I'm kind of toying with an idea, about next month starting a group build on my end of historical aircraft. A DC-3, Super Constellation, or a very historical airplane like that of the Winnie Mae. There's a lot out there, folks. So I like to formally announce I'd like to be able to start a group build next month on May. This will be a 2-month group build. We'll give you 2 months on it. That way, give you time to get other builds going. You can work on this a little bit. If you want to, though, it's no problem. If not, I'll put it in the stash and I'll turn it to a personal build. So I'll give you guys something to ponder on a little bit. The name of my group build will be Historical Aircraft. So tell me what you think, gang, and if you guys in or out, it don't matter. It's just like I'm here as a model community suggestion at my end. Okay, guys, tomorrow I should have another update build report on Tommy Colonel Reb's dedication build with my Yonkers 87 Stuka. And so stay tuned for that one. So I'm going to do a little work on it tonight, and so I can prepare for the video for tomorrow. And when I finish my Yonkers Stuka, I'm going to start on my second entry of Russell Goslin's D-Day group build, my C-47 Skytrain. That's going to be a treat. And also I'll have another video probably in a couple more days on my Songbird. And get those 3 going, and I'll be one happy guy. Okay, gang. Call it quits right now. I'm about punched out and tired. And I'd like to thank all you guys out there for tuning in. May God bless. And thank you very much for all your comments on my past video done. I am slacking off by not replying to my wonderful commenters out there. So I'm going to do the best I can to kick myself in the ash can and start commenting on the fly. So I'll acknowledge all you great fellows out there, and I'd like to say it warms my heart very immensely for all your great replies out there and comments on my builds. It means a lot to this old man. So guys, once again, it's Frankie Day signing off. I'd like to thank you for tuning in. May God bless. We'll catch you on the next video, and also please subscribe. And we'll catch you next video, gang. So anyway, this is Frankie Day signing off, and catch you next video, boys. Take care, man.